What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Circus live video. On the left side here, we have Snake Eyes, or as I quote, as the player said, Piss Eyes, because the poor version of Snake Eyes. On the right side here, we have full-powered Snake Eyes of Fiendsmith, the deck that's going to be the deck to play. You know, the Tier 0 deck, everyone's playing the Fiendsmith cards, are going to be the craziest. Hopefully we see a die roll here where the player on the left chooses to go first, because it is a die roll reliant format. And we do see the player on the left going first here with a copy of Bonfire. Will they have enough to beat the Fire King, or not the Fire King, but the Snake Eyes Fiendsmith cards? We're going to be seeing them search for a copy of Ash. Ash can will the normal summon itself out, activating the effect, searching for a Poplar. Poplar will summon itself out, activating the effect, searching for a copy of either Divine Temple or a copy of OSS, depending on what we already have. We're searching for a Divine Temple here, which is going to be able to place the Snake Eyes Diabellstar onto the field, and this engine is going to be very powerful. Now, we don't have access to the Snake Eyes Fiendsmith part of the deck, but this is still going to be able to go with a standard combo. You can also play the Cashier cards in this as well. We're going to go up into a copy of Flamebird right away, maybe already having the Oak in the hand. And then we're going up into a copy of the IP Masquerade. We're going to be seeing the Snake Eyes Diabellstar be able to place the Poplar, as well as Poplar going to be able to activate the... Or Poplar is going to be placing the Snake Eyes Diabellstar, as well as we're going to be seeing the effect of the Flamebird summoning out the copy of the two bodies. We're going to be summoning out a token here, getting hit with Nibiru before we even touch that copy of Princess, which is quite nice. You know, if we don't have access to any stuff like that, it's going to be kind of impactful for us. Now, we do have a few options here. Nibiru was probably the best hit there because of the fact that we didn't have to activate the effect of Snake Eyes Diabellstar to place the Flamebirds, for example, in the zone here. But we're going to be seeing the Snake Eyes Diabellstar placing the copy of Flamebird, then sending it for the copy of the Diabellstar to summon herself out. Diabellstar is going to be able to set a copy of Origins. And now the question is, what do we summon out here? You know, we still have the Oak, which can be brought out, but do we have enough? I believe Princess just takes 3 monsters. It could be effect monsters, so you know the Nibiru token could really hurt. But we're going to be sending a copy of the Diabellstar to the graveyard, sending a copy of Oak. Now we can't send a token because it has to send to the graveyard for cost, and you can't send a token under cost. We're going to see the Oak bring with the copy of Poplar, and now we have access to a potential Princess if we want to. The problem is we have no way to get that token off the field. We're going to see them go into a copy of Kita just to get that token off the field. And then we're going to be seeing them go up into the Princess. Princess can then bring out the copy of Flamebird. Flamebird can then put the copy of IP into the Spawn Trap card zone, and we can link the IP or the copy of Princess and the Snake Eyes Diabellstar for something else. Now, if we were playing the Fiendsmith cards, we would have been able to negate the Princess, essentially turning off the lock to let us summon out a copy of like Apple or something like that. But unfortunately, we can't really go for that. So we're going to go for a copy of the Raging Phoenix and go up into a World Zealantis. And just passing turn, most likely on that. You know, we have Princess in the graveyard as an interruption. We have a couple hand traps in the hand as well. We have Flamebird where we can bring out stuff. And we also have the IP Masquerade. You know, we will be able to, if they summon, let's say they have a Dark Ruler or more here, they can Dark Ruler us, or they can Emperor the copy of Flamebird. Whenever they normal special summon it, we're going to be seeing the field spell be able to bring out the copy of the IP. We're going to activate the effect of the Zealantis, and we're going to be putting the Nibiru face down. And we're most likely not triggering the Princess here, I was going to say. And just passing turn on that. So kind of just trying to lock one of their zones, as well as move it so it's not in the extra monster zone here. And they do have a Poplar to normal summon, you know, having already a good extender. Now, we're not starting off with the Fiendsmith cards, so, you know, potentially we could not have them in our hand, potentially wanting to save them for the follow-up, or for if this gets negated or stopped. But Poplar is still now a good normal summon. Before, it was not in the pure build. I guess that was not horrible. It wasn't the best in the pure build before, but now it's just still full combo. Now we have the field spell which we can activate, and now we're going to have to chain the copy of Flamebird to summon out the copy of IP, because if we don't let that resolve, we're going to start doing some really weird combos where they're going to have to be like placing, and they can special summon out our bodies, I can special summon out their bodies, but We're going to see them place the Ash. And now we're thinking, do we just go IP up into a... Okay, so we're going to go for the copy of Nibiru face up, linking away into a Hita. Now, on the Hita summon, we most likely are going to have to chain the Princess. That's going to get them a search. You know, you might just chain IP to this. We could chain Divine Temple. Divine Temple target the Ash. Which we are going to be doing. Ash going to summon itself out. Activating the effect. And it's going to let us search for a Poplar. We have to be careful. Or search for an Ash Blossom. That makes sense. Yeah, searching for, not Ash Blossom, but Ash. So that when we normal summon it next turn, we will be able to search for the Poplar. I was going to say, we have to make sure we don't lock all our zones up here. But they're going to go up into a copy of SP. SP is going to be able to banish the Hita, make it so that they do not have the effect to add summon back out. And now we have an SP to start returning our monsters and protecting ourselves as well, which is important. So we have Princess Flamebird, which can bring back out both bodies. Now we already have used the Ash effect, but you know, we can still get those bodies under the field, which is pretty impactful. They have a Bonfire as well, and Poplar's already been normal summoned. It has not been special summoned itself out yet, so you know, we could see that here. We're going to see his Poplar special summon itself out by adding it to the hand. And we only have one card left in hand. They're going to go for a Anima here. And this is most likely going to be met with the copy of nothing. Okay. So we're going to be waiting here. The Poplar gets put back. And they're going to activate the effect of Anima. They're going to chain SP, banishing itself. And we have the last card in the hand being a copy of Engraver. Engraver searching for the track. This track is going to then track is going to allow us to search for the Fabled Lurie. Summon with the Fabled Lurie here. And they are thinking on this. And we could Princess, but no. We're going to go right into the Requiem. Requiem's going to be able to tribute itself to let us go get the Engraver here. Then we're going to be shuffling back to summon out and place. We then smash down a Nibiru here, getting rid of our Flamebird as well. The Flamebird really able to activate the effect, summoning out both bodies. Then they have already used Poplar effect twice, you know, being able to summon itself out from the hand and being able to search and being able to place. So if they do choose to summon with the copy of Poplar, it's not going to do very much for them. They're going to go Oak and Ash. Oak's going to summon with the Poplar here as well. And now we do have two bodies on the field as well, so we can go for other stuff. But if that Poplar gets into the graveyard, which it most likely will be able to put a copy of the Snake Eyes Diabell Star into the spell and trap card zone to let us get a search off more. So even throughout both combo lines we see here, you know, with the Snake Eyes Pure as well as the Snake Eyes Fiendsmith, it looks like being able to Nibiru at the perfect time is going to be just insane. And we're going to be activating a copy of Wanted as well. Searching for a Diabell Star. I don't know how they're getting more cards to the hand. I could be mistaken on the card count because I do put their cards in a square formation where when I'm not looking. And they don't really shuffle their hand, so I could be mistaken there. I thought the last card was in the Engraver, but I suppose it's not. They have a copy of Diabell Star, sending the Engraver here. Summon itself out. Activating the effect, getting hit with a copy of Valor here. And we're going to be able to do a bit. We see triple Engraver in this list as well. That's a lot of money. This was also Sneak Peek weekend, by the way. So, having to ball out here. Both these players are currently at Nationals, which actually is happening at the moment. I know the player on the left has now picked up the Fiendsmith cards, and they currently are. It's a Sunday that I'm recording this, so It is day 2, and they're currently only X1, which is quite nice. So shout out to Jacob for being great at the game. Hopefully you do top at the time of recording. I don't really know what's going on, but there's 2 more rounds left, and he's only X1, so chances are he's going to be topping, which is going to be absolutely amazing. His brother topped last year with Branded as well, which is very funny. He said, now it's my turn. And we're going up into a copy of IP, and we're going to be chaining the Princess here, and our opponent's going to scoop it up. So we do take game 1 with the least expensive deck, having those Nibirus, having those copies of Valor, and also, just having the advantage of going first is definitely a problem in this format. But going into, the post side, the problem with the game is, when you're playing against a tier 0 deck, your deck's going to be kind of orientated to go against it anyways. So, game 2, we're most likely going to be seeing the player on the right win the game. They're going to be able to choose who's going to go first or second. They're going to be able to put in those going first cards. They're just going to be absolute blowouts. We could see cards, also including in the side deck, cross-out designators and stuff like that are able to, kind of blow at opponent. And, you're just going to be comparing your hand and seeing who has the most hand traps or most cards that play through hand traps at this point. And then game 3, when their opponent on the left is going to choose who's going to go first, they'll be able to do the exact same thing. Now, unfortunately, for the player on the left, is that the Fiendsmith cards are going to be able to be the going first and going second cards. Being able to break those boards and then also being able to push the cards and making bigger boards is going to be quite impressive. We saw them kind of eat multiple stuff, and just at the very end, that Princess Negate was kind of final blow with the Nibiru and the Valor. If it wasn't for those hand traps in the hand, they would have been able to pick that board apart quite easily here, which is kind of crazy that, we took away a Baron and a Link Kribo, and it hasn't really done anything else to the deck. In fact, the deck has kind of gotten even stronger. If we're able to set up that copy of Desiree, it's going to be just almost game over. They're able to play through those hand traps as well as board breakers here. And there's no really good spot to imperm. So diving on into game 2, we are going to be seeing the player on the right going first. And we see a blue tier and just a pass on that. I was going to say, we could see a full combo, but having the blue tier in the hand is definitely not going to be a good option. They're going to see a Wanted, and that's going to be fine. Searching for a copy of Diabellstar. There is the opportunity that you can just brick in the deck as well. Which we are going to be seeing. We're going to be seeing a Diabellstar sending the copy of Flamer, just having herself out talking about a brick. And we see Ash, Valor, and a copy of Droll and Lockbird in the hand. And we see a Metronis, but an Ash blossom for that, and a Call by the Grave on the Ash. This will allow us to essentially negate the effect of Diabellstar by summoning out a Diabellstar, which can then banish them both face down, which is going to be kind of problematic for both players here, especially the player on the right. They already have bricked the deck, and now flipping it face down, or banishing it. So essentially, going to make it so that we have one less starter in the deck here. But that's going to be just a pass turn on our opponent, and we're going to be seeing a draw for turn, and still not going to be enough there. It looks like we're going to be setting one card and passing. That's not going to be enough, and we do draw into a copy of Oak. Oak can then be normal summoned out. Oak is going to just poke into the... That's crazy. And then setting 2 cards and passing. We're going to then finally see a Bonfire here, which is going to then let us finally search for a copy of Snake Eyes Ash. With a Snake Eye Ash going to be met with a copy of Imperm there. Not going to be the best. Not really what you're hoping for. But it can beat over the Oak, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, it can't. That's right. Oak is the biggest one. That's unfortunate. They're going to just get a pass on that there. But we are going to be... Are we going to beat them over for 100? We're going to see them beat them over for 100 here. Making sure they can't just activate the effect. And we already have the Flamebird in the graveyard for our opponent. So it's going to be kind of problematic. But we can now link up into a copy of the Hita. Hita can then take the copy of Snake Eyes Ash. And that's going to be able to activate its effects. Be able to search for Poplar. Now we're on the left side here. We're on to the races. Going to be able to essentially go full combo here. We do see the Poplar get hit with a copy of Imperm. I wonder why they didn't choose to Imperm the copy of Hita. Maybe trying to get another card out of their deck. So you can go up into Princess now, and then Princess will be able to bring out that copy of Flameburge, and we can now link up. But we maybe have a copy of Nibiru in the hand that we're trying to play. We're going to see Poplar put the Flameburge in the Spell and Trap card zone, and we do see that copy of Nibiru being hit. This is why they chose to imperm the copy of Poplar. I mean, this does give them a body for Closed Moon, which is one closer to a Fiendsmith combo. We see them beat over the token, set one, and pass, and we see our opponent pass back, and then passing back again to our opponent on the right side. Did we finally have a card? We have a Oak here, which is going to be met with a copy of Imperm. This could go into the Moon. We're going to go Battle Phase, attack with both of them there. Just exchanging those hand traps. And just passing on it as well. We're going to see Flameburge being sent for a Diabellstar. Diabellstar, as well as Flameburge, will be able to activate its effects. And that's going to go through setting a copy of the Origins. And then we're going to be able to go Flameburge effect to summon out the Poplar and the Oak. Poplar will finally be able to search for a copy of Divine Temple. And now the player on the left is back in the races. I wonder if we should have gone for a copy of Moon. It's still going to Moon into Requiem, and then Requiem be able to summon out the Fiendsmith. It still wouldn't have been exactly enough. We would have to go into a princess, the Necro Princess line, but still. We see the field spell place the Snake Eyes Diabellstar onto the field. We don't have access to a Snake Eyes Ash just yet, but we can go into the Snake Eyes Diabellstar, place the Hita summon out, or Hita going to be sent for the Oak to summon out the copy of Ash. Ash can search the Ash for the next turn here. Now we have essentially all the pieces of the puzzle. We can just start linking up. Now we have Princess in the Grave, but we do have lots of lines that we can go for. We can go for the OTK here by making the Nib be face down. So we do have access to that still. But are they afraid of a Nibiru? I don't think they can really play through a Nib. And if they make that big push to go into the Raging Phoenix, then to go for the copy of the Atlantis, it's going to be that if they do get hit with a Nibiru, it's just going to be turn ending there. They're going to go for a Nightmare Phoenix, so trying to play it safe, sending the copy of Droll and Lockbird for the face down, and that's going to get knit with an Imperm. Just lots of hand traps here, which is kind of crazy. We're going to see Poplar place the Snake Eyes, the Flameburge into the Spell and Trap card zone. This way we can play through it if we do have the Nibiru now. Now we don't have a copy of Princess to go up into. The Princess is in the graveyard. So it's going to be kind of hard for us to go up into another body. But we can link up into the Celine, because it is a spellcaster. We definitely have enough spells. 2 being on the field and then 1 in the graveyard. We're thinking to summon out the copy of Droll and Lock. Go up here into what I'm assuming is going to be the Raging Phoenix. Or Access Code. Okay, Access Code's a big body. I suppose that you can play Access Code with this build. And we're going to go for 2 to pop both. And then they're going to attack with the Access Code for a 53. and then attack for, I believe it's 2,000 with the Ash, and that should just be game. Origins and Flamebridge, 7-note, make another copy of Ash. And they just have a copy of the blue in the hand. That's going to be unfortunate there. We see the player on the left 2-0ing their opponent, even with the Snake Eyes Fiendsmith cards there. You know, you do run a little bit more bricks, which is kind of unfortunate. You know, you have the lure, you have that card, you have the trap card for the side, and we do see them take it, but we saw a lot of exchanges of hand traps there. And that's going to be kind of the game that we are going to be playing. You know, if you don't open up too well, both players are going to be throwing hand traps at each other. But regardless, I wanted to be showing you guys the difference of the deck of, you know, playing with the Fiendsmith and without. How you can still win without the Fiendsmith cards. Regardless, hope you enjoyed watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, see more content like this. Stay safe. Peace.